Hello again. So I wanted to do a quick unboxing and looking at this Seika tool honing guide. Now the current one I've got, a little one like this, been using it for years, but slight problems with it, like I've got these chisels with flat edges. It doesn't fit in, so it wobbles about and I end up with an edge that's not very good. So I thought, what the hell, invest in one of these and see what it's like. So let's open the box, see what's in it. But here we are with the box. Now I should say first of all, this took absolutely forever to arrive. I ordered it from seikatool.co.uk and expected it to be delivered as you would expect. Instead it took getting on for 2 weeks to get here. They did send me a tracking number and I had to watch it go all the way through China and then through Doha, eventually to Heathrow, and then it took ages to come from there. So don't expect it to arrive quickly. I started to think it was a bit of a scam, but eventually it has arrived. So let's see what's in the box. Okay, now it looks nice. It's pretty chunky, and compare that with the old one. That is a decent bit of kit. It feels pretty well made. The little thing turns, so I can see as you turn the thing, the jaws come closer, and there's a little clampy thing in here, which means you should be able to clamp chisels that are a funny shape like mine in there. That seems all right, and it comes with this little ruler thing. Now you can see this little ruler thing, it's marked in degrees rather than millimeters, so I imagine that fits in here somewhere. And in fact there's a little groove there that it goes in like that, which means you can then move your chisel, that's the chisel over, in and out. So that should fit in there somehow. I have to loosen that like that. And then you screw that up on your chisel, like so, hopefully. There we are, that seems to fit quite nicely. It looks like this slider will move across. There's a couple of Allen screws in there. And then presumably you move this back and forth until you get the right angle. So I think it's something like, I'd have to look it up, it's something like 30 degrees and 35 degrees or something. But as you move it, you can see a different angle. So at this point, I'll be grinding it at 90 degrees. Actually, I've got it upside down, haven't I? There we go. This angle, I'll be grinding this at 90, so flat across there. And then as you extend it, obviously, you're grinding it at less of an angle. So the idea is you grind it at a low angle, and then you grind it at a higher angle at the end, and you get like a bevel, and then you get like a sharp piece across the end. But that's I quite like the fact that it's in degrees rather than millimeters, so you don't have to do the conversion, as long as you can remember what the actual degrees are that you want. Okay, I've set it up with the first angle, so this is the 25 degrees, and then later on I'm going to add some sort of down to 30 degrees. So and what we do, we just grind it on here, a bit of water, until we get a nice flat surface generated on the chisel here. So off we go. So there's the end of phase one, and it seems to have ground a reasonably nice flat on there. Looks relatively square, which is good. So I guess the one negative I would put against this is it doesn't come with any instructions. If you've never sharpened a chisel before, you may not know, what angles do you need? How do you actually use the oil stone, or the diamond stone in this case? How do you set it up? What do you do? So that's a negative. But apart from that, the actual tool seems to be working quite well. So the next thing to do is to flip over the stone onto the side which is 1000. Give it a quick clean, and then essentially we just polish out all of these extra grooves to give us a nice flat surface. So that's what we can do next. Okay, now that I've got a nice flat smooth surface from the 1000 on this, what I need to do now is put the final cutting edge on, which is essentially involves making it a bigger angle. So I'll put the guide back in, loosen the screw, and it always involves bringing the chisel backwards. If you're moving it forwards, then you've done it wrong. So we move it to 30, which is there. I can do that up, and then we can grind it at 30. Now with the final edge, we don't want it to go very far, so really I just want a very small amount. So just do it for a little while and then we'll have a look at it. And there we go, that's what I'm looking for. You can see there is a you can see there's an extra angle on there now. Obviously it's shining, but it looks like it's not entirely square, so there's obviously some room for moving side to side, which is a shame, but there we are. Now feel it now, feels blunt, which is what it should do. So we undo this now. So I'm finished with that honing guide now. The next thing is to take the burr off the back, because that's what's making it blunt. And all you do, you put it on the stone completely flat, set the edge off, and you should be left with something which feels quite sharp. Let's try it out. So I think on the advert they show it with a bit of paper, so here we go. Kind of cuts it, it's a little bit furry edged, so not brilliant, not as good as it is on the thing. Let's try it with a bit of wood instead. So this is a bit of, it's actually spruce, but it's quite hard spruce, so let's just see what it does. Yeah, that's not bad. That's quite sharp. I think that's not bad at all. So I think it's done a good job. Okay, now trying it with a plane blade, it's all a bit more, you have to figure it out, but you can see that the plane goes into a higher ridge because this is a wider one, which means it's slightly higher than where the chisel was, and that means that makes a lot more sense when you come to look at it on the ruler, because now the ruler measures essentially where the plane blade can go. You see the lines that come down are actually the angles, so all you do is you line your plane blade up against the angle, and you can see the angle there, if I can get it right in the camera, is the actual angle that the blade's being cut at. So that makes a lot more sense. Otherwise it's the same principle, you just use it with your diamond stone or your oil stone, whatever it might be, and it will do plane blades as well. And it seems to be, and this one particular one, using my old guide, I essentially had an angle on the top, so I started using this one, and you can see it starts to take that angle off, so it's going to be actually flat and square across the front for the first time in its entire life. So let's carry on with that. So that's it. It seems to have done a fairly good job. So overall, I'm fairly impressed with it. It's fairly good. It feels fairly well made, though it's feels like it's jammed a bit there. But yeah, it was good. It was able to sharpen this chisel that I've not really been able to sharpen at all before now, because it's had a funny shape, which is good. You saw it was fairly sharp. The tool itself is good. I don't like the markings very much. They're really hard. You can see how they go. It's really hard to line up and to figure out which marking you're lined up against. But that's a minor point. I do like the way it fits on. I do like the way that it fits on there. So it's right up against the blade. That's really good. And then you take it off again rather than have to mess about with a ruler. So that's quite nice. Fairly robust. Keeps it solid. I think it's quite a good buy in the end. Very expensive, but if I could sharpen my chisels, then that's good. So hopefully that was useful.